Hi there, my friends. God bless you. God bless you. In this video, I am going to go into the history of Joseph Biden and also explain how he is connected to the Jesuit order at the highest levels. I would describe Joseph Biden, Mr. Joseph Biden, as a man behind the scenes, really, and that will be revealed during the video. A man that is really behind the throne, a man that is really pulling the strings, and of course Mr. Joseph Biden has been connected to the American government in all of the major departments, really, and organisations, and of course he's a high Jesuit. I mean, in America right now you have a situation where you have two candidates for the presidency of the United States. You have Donald Trump, you had Joseph Biden. Doesn't matter who you choose, you're going to get a high Jesuit. And of course, you know, Donald Trump and Joseph Biden, they are both wings of the same bird. So you don't have much of a choice, really. In America, it was either Donald Trump, who came from a Jesuit university, or Mr. Joseph Biden, who came from a Jesuit university. So no matter who is put into office, you're going to get a high Jesuit. So there's really not much of a choice. Of course, these people are chosen before the election. You know, the voting process is an illusion, really. But I won't go into that, really. I'll just leave that there. But my point is this, really, that if you vote for Donald Trump, you're getting a high Jesuit. If you vote for Joseph Biden, you're getting a high Jesuit. So it doesn't really matter who's in office in that sense. You know, you're given no choice, really. The Jesuit order will come into power. The Jesuit order will be in position. The Jesuit order will put their president into power, whether it be Donald Trump or Joseph Biden. So really, regardless of what you vote, the Jesuit order will be in control. The reason why I'm bringing this video is when Donald Trump was elected to be the President of the United States of America, I brought out a video, and the video was called Donald Trump, the Vatican's Choice. And you know, some people still have it on their channels. If you search into YouTube and do some digging, you'll probably find the video. The video was called Donald Trump, the Vatican's Choice. And in that video I was going into how Donald Trump was trained by the Jesuits and, you know, controlled by the Black Pope, the general of the Jesuits, the Jesuit order. And so I do believe I have to bring this video because Joseph Biden, Mr. Joseph Biden, has been trained by the Jesuits, and at the very highest levels of the order of the Sons of Loyola, you know, he is really working for the Black Pope. And of course today he is the United States President, Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, controlling military, intelligence, controlling the whole government of the United States. The Congress, the Senate, the whole government of the United States is under the control of Joseph Biden. Who is Joseph Biden? And that's what I want to go into. Now, I'm just going to go into the facts here. That's all I'm going to go into, is just the facts of this man's rise through politics to become the President of the United States. I personally got nothing against Donald Trump or nothing against Mr. Joseph Biden, but I'm just going to go into the actual history of his rise to power to become the President of the United States. God bless you, my friends. I believe it is necessary to bring this video. Now, in a lot of my videos I'm preaching or I'm teaching the Word of God, but in this video I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go into the actual history of, Mr. Joseph Biden, as I used to do with Donald Trump. Okay, enjoy the video, my friends. God bless you. And there's a lot of pictures here that you will enjoy also. So once again, I'm going deep into the Jesuit order. That's what I'm called to do, so enjoy the video, my friends, enjoy the video. Just one more thing, it's come to my remembrance, I just remembered it right now. There was a situation many years ago when Mr. Joe Biden was the Vice President of the United States, and what happened was he was talking away and he handed it over to a reporter, because that's the way it works, they hand it over to certain reporters that are there in the audience. And this reporter responding said, "Mr. President." Now of course Mr. Biden found that very funny, and then went on to reveal that he's been working in politics for many years and so on, but he wasn't the president. And anyway, looking back, it was kind of a slip of the tongue, but he called him Mr. President. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting to put that in there. Okay, enjoy the video. Now, Mr. Joe Biden was born on November the 20th, 1942, and he was raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania, in Delaware, and of course he studied at the University of Delaware and earned a law degree from a university in 1968, and he was elected to be a councillor at Newcastle County Councillor, and that was in 1970 actually. In Newcastle County he became a councillor, and he became the 6th youngest senator in American history, and he was elected to the US Senate from Delaware in 1972 at the age of 29. Mr. Joe Biden was also a long-time member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and eventually as chairman. So really, many decades ago, Mr. Joe Biden was the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He also chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee from 1987 to 1995. And also Mr. Joe Biden was re-elected to the Senate 6 times. And of course he resigned from the Senate to be Barack Obama's vice president after they won the 2008 presidential election. And then Obama and Biden were re-elected in 2012 as vice president. So Joe Biden has a long history in politics, going back decades. I'm going to spare you all the details, but Joe Biden was working with Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan at the highest levels of the American government, of course. In 1998, Joe Biden formally declared his candidacy for the presidential nomination. That was on the 9th of June 1987, and he was considered to be a strong candidate because of his charisma and his ability to speak and communicate. But moving on, Joe Biden also worked at the highest levels as chairman of the US Supreme Court. And so, this man really has been working at the highest levels of the American government, really. connected to the Council on Foreign Relations, the American Senate, of course. He was also working with Bill Clinton at the highest levels. I think he's really the man behind the throne. I think he's the man that really is pulling the strings and in control behind the scenes. Yes, of course, he has the highest positions, but I actually think he's the one that's controlling things behind the scenes. That's the way that I'm seeing things here. Also, just to go into different departments, Mr. Joe Biden was also a long-time member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. You know, from 1997, and he also chaired it from 2001, 2003, 2007 and 2009. So really, in regard to the American Senate, you know, he was really at the highest position of it, really, you know, working in control. And he was also chairman of the NATO Observer Group in the Senate, to be exact. Also, just an interesting fact is that Biden also voted against authorization for the Gulf War. So, you know, there has been times when he's been in opposition, but there's times when he's also been, you know, leading from the front. So he's had different positions, really. Just an interesting quotation from you here. You know what happened with the Bosnian War? Well, Joe Biden in 1993, he spent a week in the Balkans and he held a very intense 3-hour discussion with Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic. Trying to get that name right. It's a tongue twister, isn't it? Slobodan Milosevic. Yeah, I've got it right. And apparently Biden said to him, Slobodan Milosevic, "I think you're a damn war criminal and you should be tried as one." Well, that's Joe Biden. It just speaks his mind, doesn't he? But at this point in the video, I'll just throw some names out there. I mean, Joe Biden worked at the highest levels with the Clinton administration. He worked with Bob Dole, Joe Lieberman, really John McCain. I mean, Joe Biden has really operated for decades at the highest levels with Reagan, with Carter, with Clinton, all of them. All of these presidential administrations, you know, Joe Biden was working at the top of these administrations with all of them. So he's really been working behind the scenes, really. But he's also been at the top level. But I actually do think that he is a man behind the throne, and that Joe Biden himself is the one that's been actually, you know, pulling strings, really. That's the way that I see it. Another quotation here. As head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Mr. Joe Biden said in 2002 that Saddam Hussein was a threat to national security, and there was no option but to eliminate that threat. So there's Joe Biden again, just speaking his mind. There's no option but to eliminate that threat. As I said, this video is not going to be in any way an attack on Mr. Joseph Biden. It's just, at this point in the video, I'm just giving you facts in history, which is very important, really. You know, because if you're going to go into saying that someone is a Jesuit or they're Jesuit trained and so on, people can almost see that as an attack. It's not an attack. All I'm bringing you is facts and history, true facts, in fact. And okay, later on in the video, I'll go into his connection to the Jesuit order, but for now I'm just giving you history and facts of his rise to power. Now, in 1972, Mr. Joseph Biden was re-elected in, well, 1978, 1984, 1990, 1996, 2002, and then in 2008. And he got quite a high vote, really, every time he was elected as a senator, you know, so. Now let's go into the presidential campaign. In 1992, Mr. Joseph Biden, he chose not to run for president. in part because obviously he'd voted against authorising the Gulf War. But anyway, he did not run. That was his choice, of course. Now, Joe Biden is well known for his one-liners. I mean, he's a very entertaining man. He's very entertaining, you know, the way that he comes across, the way he communicates, a lot of charisma. And he has a lot of one-liners, but he knows what he's doing, of course. But there's been many times when, you know, Joe Biden has actually contemplated running for the presidency, but he's withdrew from that race. He's obviously just not wanted to go down that road. But of course today he is the President of the United States of America. And of course he's had high positions in Congress and be connected to many presidents, of course, in their administrations with different offices. But today he is the President of the United States of America. Okay, just a lot of interesting information coming up. On August the 22nd, 2008, Obama announced that Biden would be his running mate. And of course the New York Times ran with that. But after his nomination, the Catholic Bishop of Scranton, Pennsylvania, barred Biden from receiving Holy Communion. And that's just comical, really, considering the fact that, you know, Joe Biden was graduated from Santa Clara Jesuit University in St. Joseph's because of his support of abortion rights and so on. But Joe Biden continued to receive communion at his Delaware parish. So it's a bit strange, really. We have a high Catholic bishop barring Biden from receiving communion when Biden is Jesuit trained. It's all very mixed, really. Now, I don't want to bore everyone with facts and history, so let me just begin to bring some revelation. Then I'll go into the details and facts and history a bit later on. At this point, let me just bring some revelation. Otherwise, people are just going to go, Alan, too much information, too much history. Because people are not used to me doing that. I can do that. I can go deep into research, but a lot of people are not used to me doing that. They're used to me preaching, teaching, bringing revelation. So, okay, at this point, let's have a break and let me begin to bring some revelation. And then I'll go back to the facts and history, okay? Otherwise, I don't want to send people to sleep. Okay. Let's go back a long time here. A long time. Bill Clinton, you know, he came from Jesuit Georgetown. It's Jesuit Georgetown that controls Washington DC, District of Columbia and Maryland. It's Georgetown. They receive their orders. There is a chain of command. And it is Jesuit Georgetown. I mean, Prince Charles went to Jesuit Georgetown. And you know what? I don't have them now, but I used to have pictures of this. We have Prince Charles, Order of the Garter, and he's in Georgetown, standing under the IHS. That's right. Standing under the IHS. Obama went to Georgetown, and you know what they did? They blocked it out. Boom, just covered it up. So when the press was there taking photographs of Barack Obama at Georgetown, there was no IHS above his head. But of course there are photographs of Prince Charles at Jesuit Georgetown University. And you can clearly see the IHS of the order atop his head. But not Obama. They covered it up. Anyway, my point is, it's Jesuit Georgetown that really controls Washington DC. As in, you know, District of Columbia. Now, that goes into another subject. You have the Empire of the City. I'm sure you know about this, my friends. I'm sure you do. You know, you have Vatican City, you have Washington DC, and then you have the Corporation City of London. Each of them have domes and obelisks, right? Okay, let me be specific. In Vatican City, you have the Vatican City-State Dome of St. Peter's, the Vatican, the dome, and then you have the obelisk itself directly in front of the dome. Go to Capitoline Hill. You have the dome of the Senate, the dome, and then you have the Egyptian obelisks, the Babylonian obelisk, directly in front of Capitoline Hill. Go to the Corporation City of London. You have the dome right at the centre, and you have the obelisks. You know, I believe it's actually Cleopatra's Needle. It's from Egypt, and they actually brought it from Egypt to the Corporation City. But you also have dragons. You have but I don't want to get into so many subjects that I get off the topic. But you do have dragons around the Corporation City, almost guarding the corporation now. That is the real power of London. It's the real power of Great Britain. It's the real power of the government. And in fact, here's another thing that's very interesting. If you look at Westminster Parliament, Westminster itself, the headquarters of the British government, forget about 10 Downing Street, forget that, just put that aside. Look at Westminster. What do you have there? People call it Big Ben. Big Ben is, you know, directly connected to Westminster, and you have an obelisk. Okay, very amusing, but it's an obelisk. Of course it is. Now, of course, it has a clock there. Of course, you know. I know you don't have to go on Google. You know what Big Ben is, but just look at it again. Go on Google and look at the Parliament of Great Britain, and directly to that you have a standing obelisk, right? And of course, it has a clock there. It has Big Ben, but it's an obelisk. Forget the clock. Put the clock aside and just look at what it is. It's an obelisk, right? So there you have it. You know, it's Babylonian. But getting back into the subject, Bill Clinton came from a Jesuit university, trained by the Jesuits of Rome, subordinate to the general of the Jesuits, right? Donald Trump, a very powerful Jesuit, who came from a Jesuit university. Mr. Joseph Biden, also trained by the Jesuits in Santa Clara and St. Joseph's, a very powerful high Jesuit, under the power of the General of the Jesuits. Who is the General of the Jesuits today? Well, I used to believe many years ago that we had a black pope, you know, controlling the white pope. Well, my position today is, and you probably know this, but I'll say it again, I believe that we don't have a black pope controlling the white pope anymore. Now, that was the truth. It was the truth. But I do believe that Pope Francis is the general of the Jesuits, but he is a black pope and a white pope. Now, if anyone on YouTube has just clicked on my video and started listening to me, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But this video is for people that know what I'm talking about, okay? Really. Now, I'm not going to spend much time here going into the history of, you know, black popes and white popes. I'm just going to be very direct. Yes, the black popes were supreme. They were supreme. They had authority over the white popes. In fact, the general of the Jesuits, they positioned the white popes. They positioned and controlled the popes of Rome. But when Pope Francis was elected, he was a black pope and a white pope. That's what I believe. Now, I'm going to give you guys something to think about here. Something to really think about deeply. Someone left me a comment on one of my videos, and this was their comment. And in fact, it was a very good question, so I want you guys to just listen to what I'm going to say and think about what I'm saying here. Now and again, someone will leave a very, very good comment. And this guy left a very good comment, and you know what his comment was? How could the black pope or the white pope be the Antichrist when the 10 kings with the beast destroy the great whore? That's a good question. Let me say that again. How could the black pope or the white pope be the Antichrist when the 10 kings and the Antichrist destroy the great whore? Now that challenged me. But here's the way that I see it. You could destroy Catholicism. You could remove it and just put it aside. Okay? But you would still have the general of the Jesuits and the Pope of Rome controlling the one world religion. You see, for decades, the white pope, let me put it that way, the white pope was always there controlling the one world religion. He was always in control of it, really. So you could remove Catholicism and he would still be in control of this one world religion. I call it a one world abomination. That's what it is. It's a one world abomination of religions. The one world abomination of religions, because it's just an abomination to God. It's an abomination. How can all these religions join together and pray to God? They're not praying to God. They're not praying to the God of the Bible. They're not praying to the God of heaven. They're not praying to the Lord Jesus Christ. They're praying to Lucifer. They're praying to Satan. That's right. They're praying to Satan, who is the God of this world. They're not praying to the true and living God. But you have the white pope that was always really in control of that one world religion. So if you destroy Catholicism, you know, I'm quite certain that the Pope of Rome could still be, you know, controlling this satanic abomination called the one world religion. But I don't believe that the black pope controls the white pope. I don't believe that. I used to believe that 10 years ago. But when Pope Francis, who was a very powerful high Jesuit provincial from Argentina, when he became the white pope, then I knew that the general of the Jesuits was the white pope and the black pope. So, you know, no longer is the black pope behind the scenes. He's now the Pope of Rome. So when we see Pope Francis standing in the Senate, and you know, John Kerry is there. He's skull and bones, of course. Skull and bones. The ultimate skull and bones is the papacy, of course. But John Kerry's skull and bones man. He's a bones man. You know, you have Joe Biden there, high Jesuit trained. Not just Jesuit trained, but at the top of the Jesuit order. You know, you have all of these, you know, guys from the Pentagon, all of these guys, you know, at the highest levels of intelligence and military, all there just clapping away, you know, praising the man of sin, praising that man of sin, the son of perdition. Because they're under the control of the great whore of Revelation. Under the control of the great whore, who controls multitudes and nations and tongues. The United States just being one of those tongues, one of those nations. Listen, my friends, Mystery Babylon is worldwide. It's a worldwide system of control. It's not just Vatican City. It's not just the Corporation City of London. It's not just Washington, D.C., the Empire, as they call it. It's worldwide control. But the headquarters is the Vatican, of course. And the Jesuits were, you know, controlling the white popes, of course, for generations. But I've said for many years, that the black pope was controlling the white pope, but I don't believe that anymore, actually. With the election of Pope Francis as the Vicar of Christ, as the Pope of Rome, I actually believe that Pope Francis is the general of the Sons of Loyola, and he is the general of the Jesuits. In the office of a black pope, a Father Superior, but also in the office of a white pope as the Bishop of Rome. Now that's never happened before, so Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll get back into the history of Joe Biden, but I wanted to just, give some revelation just so you guys know where I'm coming from. I don't want to just give historical facts, because, I might lose people here. But, okay, let me bring a conclusion in regard to what I've been saying for the last 15 minutes, and then I'll move on. It's very clear to me that in America, at the highest levels of the American government, they are staffed from Jesuit universities. And the presidents of the United States, they are Jesuit trained, and some of them come directly from Jesuit universities. Bill Clinton is a classic Jesuit Georgetown. Mr. Donald Trump, Jesuit University. These are the highest Jesuits at the highest levels operating in politics. Mr. Joseph Biden, he's the same. Santa Clara, Jesuit trained. Not just trained, these men are high Jesuits at the highest levels of the earth. These men are rulers of the earth, put into office by the order, but subordinate to the sons of Loyola. Okay, I'll continue with Joseph Biden, but I just wanted to bring some revelation rather than just giving facts and history. Okay, I'll continue with Joseph Biden. God bless you, my friends. Just one more thing. Makes me laugh. A lot of my followers will remember that in many of my videos, I'm talking about 8-10 years ago, at the end of each video I used to say, and as always, all roads lead to Rome. It's kind of a punchline. But the truth is, all roads do lead to Rome. They do lead to the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All roads lead to Rome. All roads. It doesn't matter what research you do, it will always connect to the papacy. Always. Always. I've got a few more things to share. And then I will go into Biden. I'll go into Mr. Joseph Biden. But I'll tell you something right now. The Jesuits have assassins all over the world. All over the world. They could take me any moment they wanted to. At any moment. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. The fear of man bringeth a snare. Amen? The fear of man bringeth a snare. Now, of course, I went through that many years ago. I did. I understood what I was doing. I was going up against the Jesuits of Rome. And I had a reality check and I thought to myself, I need to step back here. I need to withdraw. So I took a lot of my work off the internet, and I just kind of went away for a few years, came back, created this channel. And the vast majority of the work here is Christian preaching, teaching videos, but of course I've uploaded, the odd video against the Jesuits and so on. But I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. If I'm going to be a martyr, then I will have a crown of glory. I'll go to the New Jerusalem. But the papacy, they have assassins all over the world. But I'm not going to look over my shoulder. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So I'm here to stay, my friends. I'm here to stay, and I'm going to preach the truth and preach the word of God. But I went through a season when I was kind of really just afraid. And just, looking on my shoulder and thinking, that's it, they're going to come for me. Well, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. I'm not living in fear of it. Okay? Just to encourage you, my friends, the Spirit of God has given me strength to go forward. The Spirit of God has given me strength to go forward. And I will go forward. Amen? I will go forward. With His strength. And with His Spirit. Giving me peace and strength. Amen? God bless you, my friends. Anyway, let's go into Mr. Joseph Biden again. Okay, if you look into the history of Joe Biden, he's, as I've said, been at the highest levels of Congress, but he's also been connected to George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, in fact, and also the Obama administration. And so, if you go through this guy's history, he was also connected to the foreign, the CFR really, the Council on Foreign Relations, but also the Foreign Relations Committee in regard to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. And he was sworn in as the 47th Vice President of the United States. And in fact, he was actually the first Vice President from Delaware, and also the first Roman Catholic Vice President. Everyone knows that Mr. Joseph Biden is a Catholic, everyone knows that. But you won't find much information on his connection to the Jesuit order. But in fact, Joseph Biden came from Santa Clara and St. Joseph University, but he was really trained by the Jesuits. There are people who are Jesuit trained, and there are people who are high Jesuit. Not everyone that is Jesuit trained is a high Jesuit. There is a difference. But Mr. Joseph Biden is a high Jesuit. He has been for decades. Not all of them are. Not all of them are. But Joseph Biden, he's not just a man that works in the high levels. He's been on the ground many times in Afghanistan, also in Iraq. He's met with people, at the ground level. He's also met with the troops many times. I mean, there was one situation where Mr. Joseph Biden, he spoke to the Navy SEALs in California, and that was in 2009. So he's a man who goes to the ground level also. He goes to speak to people directly, and he's done it many times. Many times actually, in regard to the United States policy in Iraq, and so on, and but also different situations you'll find him speaking directly to people on the ground. So he rolls his sleeves up and he gets in there. He's not just a politician who's behind a desk, He gets in with the troops, he gets in front of different leaders in Iraq and so on. So, he's a man at the ground level as well as high levels. Also, Mr. Joseph Biden has been connected to, Russia and NATO and many organisations here. And then, of course, we go into Mr. Joseph Biden's 2012 presidential campaign, of course. Now, in October 2010, Biden said Obama asked him to remain as his running mate for the 2012 presidential election. But with Obama's popularity on decline, the White House Chief of Staff, William M. Daley, conducted some secret polling and focus group research and so on. Sometimes you can share too much detail, you lose people, so I'm not going to go into that. I'll just get to the facts now. Okay, I think at this point in the video I need to really get to the point. Mr. Joseph Biden has worked with the presidents of the United States all through history, really. You see him working with Jimmy Carter, Mr. Ronald Reagan, and Bill Clinton, of course, Colin Powell, Barack Obama, And of course, he's working at the high levels of the Pentagon, the CIA. He's working at the highest levels of the Council on Foreign Relations. He's really a man behind the scenes. Now, of course, he's well known. Of course, he has high offices. But what I mean is, he's really working through all of these presidential administrations, really. He's really the one that's in control behind the scenes, really. Working with, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama and so on. Also, Biden was working very closely with the Chinese government in regard to strategic economic dialogue in Washington. That was in 2013. Also, you have this very, very well known conference between Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem, Israel. That was on March the 9th, 2016. And so Biden is operating at the highest levels here. And of course with Donald Trump and Barack Obama. This man is an expert at campaigning. You watch Donald Trump in operation, he is an expert. I mean, he's got charisma. You know exactly what to say and how to say it. This guy is just the expert at campaigns. Seriously, he is like the top campaigner. He really is. This man knows how to campaign, but he's also a very gifted communicator. In regard to his platform and how he comes across in regard to his speeches and so on. But he's also, as I've said, a very, very good campaigner. But very professional, and how he comes across. But I think I'll bring a conclusion. I don't really create my videos longer than 1 hour, so I've got about 50 minutes left, and I think if you create it after an hour you kind of lose people, so I'll just get right to the point now. Today, Mr. Joseph Biden. Mr. Joseph Biden is today the President-elect of the United States of America. The 46th President of the United States of America. Defeating Donald Trump. Now, there are a lot of people saying today that, that shouldn't have happened, so there's even still a lot of opposition, really, against Biden's election, but Biden is going to be the President of the United States, that's a fact. Now, Biden has also appointed a COVID-19 task force, so, he's going in that direction, of course, and, a lot of these people appointed under him came from, Yale University and so on, in regard to, testing for the coronavirus. They're going ahead with that. Now, in regard to this virus and pandemic, okay, let me just make my position very clear. I think that they're using this to ultimately, bring in the New World Order, of course. All of these lockdowns after lockdowns after lockdowns. It's for one purpose and one purpose only. And that's to microchip everybody, that's right. In Revelation 13, the second beast that rises out of the earth, he causes all to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead. So this virus and pandemic, this COVID-19, is just leading to the mark of the beast, where people will be chipped. Of course, the economy will crash, everything will crash. They will dismantle the whole system financially. And the only way to buy and sell was to really have the mark of the beast. And that's where it's leading to, really. But they will slowly but surely dismantle the whole system, just take it apart, just break it down and crash it until there's nothing but this microchip. And you will buy and sell everything on the internet. That's right. You will buy and sell everything online. That's why they want everyone on the internet, to buy and sell everything on the internet, because that's where it's leading to. the mark of the beast in your right hand of the forehead, this microchip, this RFID chip, you will be able to scan and buy anything you want on the internet. And so that's what they want. But anyway, that's a entirely different subject. Let me get back to Mr. Joseph Biden. And then I'll bring an end to the video. Thank you for listening, my friends. I'll end the video soon. God bless you. The reason why sometimes I go off the topic is because a lot of people are not used to me bringing facts and figures and, you know, going into detail. They're not used to that, you know, because I preach a lot. I go into the Word of God. I preach a lot. So a lot of people really are not used to me going into details in regard to historical facts and different things like that. You know, actionable research. People think I'm just a preacher. I'm not just a preacher. No. No. I can connect dots, I can research. But I don't want to lose people, really. So sometimes I'll be going into details and going into history and facts, and then I'll kind of pause and say, right, okay, let's bring some revelation, let's start preaching, because, you know, I don't want to lose people, really. The vast majority of people that watch my videos, you know, they're used to me preaching and teaching, but I can also go into detail, but I don't want to lose people, so that's why sometimes I pause and I go into preaching and revelation and so on. See, I'm all over the place. It's like I can go into the depths of the Word of God. I can bring out revelation from the Word of God. I can also go into revelation about the New World Order and connect it to Bible prophecy. I'm kind of all over the place. But I think people like me because of that, because I'm not just stuck on one subject, you know. One moment I'm going into the New World Order and the Jesuit order, and 10 minutes later I'm going into the depths of prophecy. It's like I can go into so many areas, really, but a lot of people probably watching my videos, you know, years ago, understand it. Back then, back in the day, you know, I used to do a lot of research and go into a lot of things and connect a lot of dots, but anyway, moving on. But all I'm saying is I can go into so many areas, but I didn't want to lose people by going into so many facts, you know, because I think if you go into so many facts and details so much, people get a bit bored with it. So you need to kind of, you know, just begin to preach a bit and then go back into facts. So that's what I'm doing in this video. Okay, I'm going to bring a conclusion, and I might go over the hour, and you guys might like that. You might say, Alan, just keep going on, keep going on. We like it. We like it very much. I might do, you never know. You know, really it's laid bare. The truth is laid bare. The Jesuits of Rome are coming out in the open. They're coming out in the open. You know, people try and get into the New World Order. Who controls the New World Order? Is it the Jews? Is it the Illuminati? Who controls the New World Order? Well, look, you have Donald Trump, presidential candidate. You have Mr. Joseph Biden, presidential candidate. They both came from Jesuit universities. But it's not just the Jesuit university connection. Joseph Biden has been connected to the highest levels of the American government for decades. As I've said, working with Carter, working with Reagan, working with Clinton, working with Obama. He's got his hand in everything. He's had his hand in every administration, working at the highest levels, pulling the strings. He's had his hand in everything. Trained by the Jesuits, yes. But he is a high Jesuit. The truth of the matter is this. Mr. Joseph Biden has been working through every administration, really. Every department, every corporation of the government, really, for decades. Really. And He is what I call a man behind the scenes. A man behind the scenes, a man behind the throne, really. You know, you have all of these presidents pop up, and pop up. But really, he's the man that's in control, Mr. Joseph Biden. And today he is a man that's in control. In control. And he was ordained to be that. He was chosen to be the President of the United States. The same way that Trump was. The same way that Barack Obama was. And George W. Bush was. They're all chosen by the papacy. They're all chosen by the Jesuit order, of course. Chosen by the Black Pope. Why is it that Vladimir Putin goes to the papacy to see Pope Francis? Why does Donald Trump go to the papacy? Why does Joseph Biden go to shake hands with the general of the Jesuits? Why? Why is that? And why is it that the two presidential candidates are both Jesuit trained, Trump and Biden? Because the Jesuits are coming out in the open now. They're revealing to us the power they have. So, let's face it, the President of the United States is the most powerful man in the world. And we have two candidates here, Trump and Biden, both Jesuits, and they are Jesuits. They both come from Jesuit universities. And of course, you know, we have Pope Francis. Now, can you remember Pope Francis standing in front of the Senate, the Congress? Most of you probably are aware of this. In fact, I would say 99.9% of you are. Pope Francis flashed the hand signal, and it was the 3 fingers up and 2 fingers down. It's called the beast signal. I can't show you now because I'm not on a webcam, but it's like you literally have the thumb and the finger together and you have 3 fingers up, right? It's the all-seeing eye, and you have 3 sixes really, because you have 3 fingers, but the third finger actually goes into a 6, so you have 3 sixes and you have an all-seeing eye. It's a beast signal really. It's the Antichrist symbol. It's the symbol of Lucifer, symbol of the beast. But you know, Pope Francis, he throws up this hand signal right there for everyone to see in front of the Congress. And John Kerry, who's a skull and bones man, of course, is clapping away. You know, they're all clapping away. You know, oh, they're all clapping away, praising the man of sin, the son of perdition. I mean, it's just right there, right in front of us. You know, you have the general of the Jesuit order, the Black Pope, who is also a white Pope, standing in front of Congress, throwing a hand signal, which is a beast signal, all-seeing eye symbol. It's just right in front of us. The Jesuits are in control, my friends. They are in control of the New World Order. They are in control. I was saying this 10 years ago. And right now, 10 years later, we have 2 presidential candidates who are both Jesuit trained. Now, of course, Joseph Biden is now the President of the United States. And of course, I'll go into Biden and then I'll end the video. Joseph Biden has sat on so many political chairs, it's unbelievable. Really. He's sat on so many political chairs, really. This guy is really at the top. He's at the top of the American government. He has been for decades, really. And he's had so many political positions, really, that, you know, he's connected to the Jesuits, of course. And that's the important thing I want to bring out, and then I'll end the video. Mr. Joseph Biden is under the control of the Jesuits of Rome, under the control of the Sons of Loyola, under the control of the Jesuit order, under the control of the Jesuits of Rome. He's under the control of the general of the Jesuits. Now, Barack Obama, he was just a figurehead. That's all he is, just a figurehead. Joseph Biden was controlling him. That's right. So you have all of these Jesuits controlling the American government, of course. Now, the CIA, let's go into the CIA, shall we? The Central Intelligence Agency was created by William Well Donovan. William Well Donovan was a Knight of Malta. And of course, then we step into the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. Of course, that was created by Bonaparte, and he was another Knight of Malta. You know, let's go into the Nazis, shall we? It doesn't matter where you go, Rome has a hand in it. I mean, I said this in a webcam a few weeks ago, but Adolf Hitler brought a very powerful quote, and he said, "I see in Himmler our Ignatius of Loyola." But it doesn't matter where you look. If you look at the Nazis, Knights of Malta, Ratlines, and so on, you know, Bormann, you know, Bormann was really, he was kind of a shadow man, wasn't he? He was really. He was a shadow man. Can I tell you something about Bormann? I read this in a book called The Grey Wolf. It's a book that's out there. You know, it's been published. But in the book The Grey Wolf, you know, Bormann, you know, when he escaped, you know what he actually did? He dressed as a Jesuit priest. I kid you not. Seriously, I kid you not. You can read it in The Grey Wolf. Just go on Amazon, you can buy The Grey Wolf. But yes, Bormann actually dressed as a Jesuit priest while he was, you know, escaping through different territories. Yeah, he dressed as a Jesuit priest. That was Bormann. Bormann was a kind of a shadow man. He was kind of a, well, I wouldn't call him a handler, but he was well, I wouldn't say he was a handler, but he was kind of an advisor to Hitler, put it that way, an advisor. But anyway, it's Bormann's escape in Germany, you know, before the end, right? Because let's face it, all the Nazis, the high Nazis, not the patsies, but the high Nazis, they got out of there very quickly, you know, to different territories, you know, Ratlines and so on, to Argentina, governed by the Knights of Malta and so on. And that's another subject. I mean, Adolf Hitler, you know, I don't know who that guy was. You know, you have this photograph of Adolf Hitler shot through the head and so on. I feel sorry for that guy, but that was not Hitler. Hitler was long gone. He was long gone. He was long gone. To South America, Argentina, possibly. There's a book called The Grey Wolf. You probably know about it, but if you don't, I advise you to just buy the book, but you probably know anyway what's in there. But anyway, during reading that book, you know, it goes into, you know, Hitler's escape and so on, you know, in submarine. But anyway, an interesting fact here coming up. The man that wrote The Grey Wolf. Now, The Grey Wolf goes into, you know, how the Nazis kind of fled Germany. So that's really the, you know, the kind of subject of the book. It's a very good read, actually. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I suggest you probably get the book. You'll enjoy it so much. But anyway, in that book, the author, I actually watched him on a video. This is not the book. This was actually the author on a video describing the book. You know, to someone interviewing him. In fact, you know, this man was interviewing the author of The Grey Wolf. And the author of The Grey Wolf said that, really, now this is very, very interesting. He said that Adolf Hitler went to a place in South America that was provided by Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. Now that really got me interested. Now, Prince Bernhard, we know, is, well, he was a very powerful Knight of Malta. In fact, one of the commanders of the Knight of Malta, right? And in fact, he knighted, you know, Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands, of course. So Prince Bernhard was a very, very powerful man, connected to the order and very high up in the Knights of Malta. And so Adolf Hitler apparently had this place prepared for him on the land that was owned by Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. Now, this was actually, given in an interview by the author of The Grey Wolf. So, when I used to do a lot of my research years ago, I used to look into all kinds of places to get research. And so, when I read The Grey Wolf, I looked into the author, and then I found the interview, and I thought, well, okay, so the Knights of Malta were really, working really to, bring the Nazis, the high Nazis, into places of safety, really. And people call it the Nazi rat lines and so on, but I'm going into so many areas. People say that Hitler escaped through a submarine. I don't know, I'm not quite sure. I don't have the facts in front of me, so I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure that Hitler did go to South America. And I am sure that he was, helped and led by the Knights of Malta. Of course. This video was supposed to be about Joe Biden. Man, I'm going into so much stuff here. Do you want me to continue? I don't know. Maybe I should. But let's get back to Mr. Biden, Mr. Joseph Biden, shall we? Joseph Biden, really. He really has been working at the top levels of the Congress, but also in presidential administrations in regard to Carter, Reagan, Clinton, Obama, all of them really. And now he's the President of the United States. But let me remind you, my friends, that he also came from a Jesuit university, Santa Clara and St. Joseph, so he is under the control of the Black Pope, the general of the Jesuit order. He receives his commands from his general, the general of the Jesuits of Rome, as they all do. It seems to me like you might have what's called a stand-in president. Was that the case in Barack Obama's case? Was that the case in, Donald Trump's case? I'm not quite sure. But one thing is sure. Donald Trump today is the most powerful man in the American government. He's worked with the CIA, he's worked with the Pentagon, he's worked with Congress, he's worked with many administrations of presidencies at the highest level, really. But okay, I think it's prudent to just stop the video right now and just end there. Conclusion. Joe Biden has been chosen by the Jesuits to be the President of the United States of America, Commander-in-Chief, and he is the President of the United States of America, but he was chosen to be the President. He was not elected by the people. And going back to what I said in the beginning of the video, you really only had two choices. Two Jesuits. You had Jesuit trained, High Jesuit, Mr. Donald Trump, or you had Jesuit trained, High Jesuit, Mr. Joseph Biden. That's the only choices you have. Both Jesuit trained, both High Jesuits. So it really doesn't matter who you vote for, you don't really have much of a choice. The Jesuits of Rome will put into power the Jesuit they have trained and elected. You don't really have a vote. You don't really have a choice. But I find it very strange, really, that we're in a situation where you can literally look at two presidents and say clearly they are both Jesuit trained. Both come from alumni Jesuit universities. Anyone can see that. So my friends, today It's a Jesuit controlled, Jesuit led New World Order. That's right. In France, it's exactly the same. They are Jesuit trained from Jesuit universities. I've been saying this for many, many, many years, my friends, and it is the truth. Now, of course, it's not just the Jesuits at the highest levels. You have, of course, okay, I'm going to go into it because I think I have to. It's going to be a rather long video, so I was going to stop at this point, but I'm just going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. But I'll tell you right now, the truth is this. You have a structure here, a chain of command. At the top is the general of the Jesuits. Okay, and under that you have what's called Vatican knighthoods. You have the equestrian order. Now, of course, these go back to the very early Crusades, of course. The Hospitallers of St. John of Jerusalem, known as the Knights of Malta today, because they were located at the island of Rhodes. The Knights of Malta are known because they located at the island of Malta. But they are the Order of St. John Hospitallers of Jerusalem, of course. That's their actual official title. You have the equestrians. The equestrian order really was located, at Jerusalem, at the temple. Same with the Knights of Malta, same with the Templars. They were all located at Jerusalem, of course. And really, you have people say the Templars don't exist. They do exist, but it's what's called revived Knights Templars. But the Templars went to Switzerland, of course. They went to Switzerland, and that's why you see the Templar flag and so on. But you also have papal knighthoods. Many papal knighthoods. In Britain, you have the Order of the Garter, of course. And now I'm going into papal knighthoods here. Different subject entirely, but bear with me. Now, Ignatius of Loyola, he was a knight. Of course, Knight of the Virgin, but he was a knight. Now, during the Crusades, we had the equestrians, Knights Hospitallers, and of course the Templars. The Templars seem to go off the radar after their persecution, but I don't believe that at all. History tells us they were persecuted because, well, they really became too powerful. And they were bankers, obviously, as well. And they were really, working with the King of France and working in the Corporation City of London and so on. And there was persecution against them. And of course, history, reveals to us that they disappeared as an order. I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe they went into Scotland, they went into Switzerland, they went into many, many territories. Now, I've had information from people that the equestrians control banking today. If you look into Revelation, it talks about how there are the great merchants of the earth. So, the knighthoods really are the merchants of the earth. In fact, I believe that really the New World Order at the high levels are controlled by knighthoods, really. I believe the Templars are still with us. I really do. I do not believe that they cease to exist. I don't believe that. Disinformation, I don't believe it. I believe they are with us today. Now, the Knights of Malta, of course, they are very strong in military. Very strong in the CIA itself was created by, as I've said before, William Wild Donovan. He was a papal knight of Malta. He was the founder of the CIA, The Central Intelligence Agency was created by a Knight of Malta. Come on. William Well Donovan, a Papal Knight of Rome. A Papal Knight of Rome. So the knighthoods are in control. They do have a lot of control, but they are subordinate to the High Jesuits, of course, in Rome. That's why Joe Biden will go and shake hands with Pope Francis in the Vatican, shaking his hand, bowing down, subordinate to the Black Pope, of course. I don't bring a lot of videos, you guys know that, I really don't. But when I do bring a video, it's because I have something to say, and I've done a lot of research on it. I mean, if I'm doing a preaching video, you know, I'll bring all the scriptures, I'll bring a lot of revelation and so on. Well, it's the same with this video. You know, I've done a lot of research, and what I'm bringing forth to you right now is, of course, Joe Biden is the President of the United States, but you know, he was the one controlling Obama. Outwardly, overtly, Obama was the President of the United States, but who do you think was pulling the strings covertly? Mr. Joseph Biden, of course. That's right. But anyway, we have a new president, and he is a High Jesuit under the control of the Black Pope. But going back to the Vatican knighthoods, you know, there are many orders, of course, many orders. You have the Constantinian order, you have the Order of Christ, you have the Knights of Malta, you have the Equestrian Order, you have the Order of the Garter. You know, you have so many orders, really, across Europe, really. And these are connected at the highest levels to the monarchies, of course. But you also have what's called Grand Masters. Every order will have a Grand Master. But these Grand Masters are also connected to the monarchies, of course. But ultimately, they are subordinate to the papacy. But then we read in Revelation 17 that the 10 kings with the beast will destroy the great whore. So that system is going to be removed and destroyed. But for generations and generations, the monarchies with the Vatican knighthoods and the popes of Rome will control the nations and peoples of the earth. But of course, what we're going to see is a new world order. That old world order is going to be removed. Now, at this point in the video, you have to forgive me because I can't stay on one subject. It's not the way that my mind works. My mind goes into so many directions. Okay? But that's just the way I am, you know. I can only stay on one subject so long, and then my mind just tends to drift into this subject, that subject, this subject, and every other subject. But that's just the way I am. So forgive me for doing that. I'm not quite sure. Should I end the video? Should I not end the video? Maybe I should go on. Yeah, I think I'll go on. I think one of the best photographs I have, and I'll upload it right now. I'll put it on the video, where President Barack Obama presents Biden with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, with distinction, of course. This was in January the 12th, 2017. And here you can see Barack Obama, you know, putting that Medal of Freedom around his president. That's right. The president of Barack Obama, even back then, was Joe Biden himself. That's right. You know, Joe Biden has really been the man behind the throne, pulling the strings. And look, I've got nothing against Mr. Joe Biden, absolutely nothing. All I'm doing is bringing out facts and history and true facts and true information, really, for people on the internet. You know, I've got nothing against these people personally, but I'm just bringing up the truth here. Joe Biden has really been in control and pulling the strings for many years, in many administrations of many presidents, and working with the CIA, the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, of course, and the Congress and so on, at the highest levels for decades. And of course now he's the President of the United States of America. That was ordained for him to have this position. It was ordained. He was chosen to be in this position. So the American people have no vote. And really it doesn't really matter who they vote for anyway. I was saying that previously, you know. You vote for Donald Trump, you get a Jesuit. Vote for Joseph Biden, you get a Jesuit. Both wings of the same Jesuit bird, right? Okay, I'm going to end the video now, because I'm jumping into all kinds of subjects here. God bless you, my friends. Thank you for listening. The video was called New World Order, Joseph Biden, the Jesuit President. Conclusion. Joseph Biden, Mr. Joseph Biden, is a high Jesuit. Trained by the Jesuits, working at the highest levels of the American government and American administrations for many presidents for decades. Working at the highest levels of Congress, working with the Pentagon, the CIA, the FBI, every administration at the highest levels. He's a very, very, very powerful Jesuit. And now he's the President of the United States of America. Personally, I've nothing against these men. I'm just bringing out the truth. That's all I've ever done, you know. Just bring out the truth. And that's all I'm doing, is bringing out the truth. Now, Donald Trump is very entertaining. He really is. He speaks his mind. He says it as it is. He's very straight in the way he comes across. Joe Biden's quite the same, you know. He's very entertaining and so on. But putting that aside, these men are high Jesuits working for the Sons of Loyola under the Black Pope, the General of the Jesuits. Don't forget that, okay? These men are high Jesuits, bringing in the New World Order. Bringing in the New World Order, that's what they're doing. And you know what's going on right now with this COVID-19, this virus and so on? They're just bringing lockdown after lockdown after lockdown. Why? I'll tell you why. To bring in the mark of the beast, because they want to microchip us. That's right. That's right, they want to microchip us. So they can track us and trace us and control us, really. Mike's free. Thank you, my friends. God bless you in America. God bless you in Italy. God bless you in Sicily. God bless you, my friend, in Norway. I've got friends all over the place. God bless you, my friends. Comments. Leave comments. God bless you, my friends. End of video. Final conclusion. The final one. Joe Biden is a high Jesuit. He has been working behind the scenes, running the American government, controlling things behind the scenes for decades, working with many presidents and many president administrations for decades, working at the highest levels of the American government, from Clinton to Carter to Reagan, all the way through to Obama, and all the way through Trump, and all the way onto his high position now as President of the United States. High Jesuit, Jesuit controlled, under the power of the General of the Jesuits of Rome, appointed by the Jesuits to be the President. My name is Alan Lamont, and as always, I know you want to hear this, all roads lead to Rome, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. God bless you, my friends. Enjoy the video, you probably want to watch it again. God bless you, my friends.